was set up originally because of work done by Get Ahead, which is the graduate forum. There are over 200 graduates with disabilities registered on a network of graduates. They meet every year, they have seminars, and they have, I suppose, between them collectively looked at what are the barriers that face graduates with disabilities. And one of the biggest barriers for them was the lack of work experience. They, unlike their brother or sister, because of their impairment, weren't able to get work in the corner shop. So you got somebody perhaps going out of college with a first class honours degree, looking for a job at an executive level, who'd never actually worked.
WAM stands for Willing Able Mentoring, and it really, in a lot of levels, encapsulates what we're trying to do. We have people who are skilled, qualified, willing to work, wanting to be paid and rewarded for that work. They're able, they have these skills to do the jobs that are out there.
Graduate disabilities, I suppose, in colleges are studying in every single department, in every single subject. So it could be a doctor, could be a nurse, could be a business graduate, could be an arts graduate. So they just come from all different areas. They seem to be just graduating right across the board.
Well, this was a properly structured approach with the right supports, not bringing people in and throwing them in the deep end and hoping they'd survive.
It opened our eyes really to the potential that's out there for an organisation like the civil service that needs to attract from a diverse pool and with a whole range of different attributes and skills. So it's been hugely important for us to realise that.
It's actually not that difficult. There are not too many costs involved for in most cases for the employment of people with disabilities, and the opportunity far outweighs the cost.
I was looking for a job for approximately 3 years, and I had severe difficulties in getting employment because a lot of companies, when they would find out that you had a vision impairment, were very reluctant or hesitant to take you on.
No, I never had a job. I worked within the deaf community, but this is my first time working in a hearing environment, so this is my first, I suppose, proper job.
Ever since I was 10 years of age, my dream was to be a journalist. And for a long time, I thought that was not a possibility. But in more recent times, the advancements in technology has meant that I can use a computer just the same as anybody else. I can write. I can use Microsoft Word. I can surf the web, and that has allowed me to do a lot of things that maybe 10 years ago I thought wouldn't have been possible.
Started working for IBM on the Easy Access web team, and my manager and team leader were Joe Morris was the manager and Anne Graham was the team leader. And the purpose of the web team was to develop easy access websites for IBM customers and clients to enable them to purchase IBM products easier. I found the work challenging and interesting and very rewarding in the first 6 months of it, which were the 6 months of the WAM project itself. And after that, IBM continued my employment.
Like, especially from my own experience and a lot of people that I would know a lot of deaf people that would have difficulties in applying for jobs. Especially, well, the biggest problem is definitely communication. A lot of communication barriers. And there are a lot of people who had never met a deaf person. They would think, oh, they're deaf, they can't do anything. Or, there are deaf people and people with other disabilities who can do anything that any other non-disabled person can do. Like, I'm missing my hearing, but I can do anything except listen.
I think a lot of time it is actually getting in there and showing you can do it. Programs like the WAM program are quite advantageous in that way, that they allow the person with a disability to come in and show that they can do the job, and the company also has the added advantage that they don't have to worry about it. It's only a 6-month placing, and if something does happen and it doesn't work out for either party, then after the 6 months, well, it was a nice try, it didn't work out. But most cases, I think that it actually will work out, where people, after the 6 months, the company will say this person is an asset.
I never imagined when I applied to get onto the WAM project that I actually would end up writing industry papers or writing speeches for ministers or the president.
WAM has used a mentoring model, and the whole purpose of the mentoring model was to build capacity into the company and to drill that capacity and knowledge right back down into not just management but into different personnel across the whole company, and to build up an understanding of the supports around disability, of the talent of people with disability, and just a basic understanding and familiarity. Because I think research after research shows that it's face-to-face, it's one-to-one connection, it's getting to know somebody is far more effective in breaking down the barriers that face people with disabilities than anything else.
Well, I had previous experience of being a mentor, and I decided that it would be a good challenge or opportunity to try it within the special environment.
The mentoring program, I think, is fantastic, because it creates an opportunity for people to come into work, meet up with mentors from the workplace, which in hindsight is a fantastic idea, because it's almost essential that that happens, because if somebody's coming in with a disability, there are issues that need to be overcome, and I feel the mentoring aspect of that really helped.
I didn't find mentoring somebody with disabilities any different, and that's something that I must admit was a complete surprise to me, because I had previously mentored, as I said, and I was very, very fearful of actually mentoring somebody who had disabilities, because I didn't know how to deal with disabilities. I didn't have much experience of it. But once I had begun it and done the training and got into the actual mentoring, I soon discovered that a person is just a person, and within the workplace the exact same mentoring is needed for somebody who has disabilities and who hasn't. It was completely transparent.
The mentor who was working with me was a woman called Deirdre Dowling, and she was very, very good at explaining how IBM itself worked. It was a process of what was known as offline mentoring. So Deirdre's role was to basically help me negotiate the company itself, talk to people, get to know who made decisions and things like that in both the formal and informal structures that exist within all companies. So it was very useful that way, and also to have someone just to fall back on if you needed to ask something that may appear to be a silly question, but kind of all the questions that all people have when they first start in a company.
The training really eased my mind, and after that then it was just ordinary mentoring, as I said. And so I did. Initially I was afraid, but afterwards I found that mentoring within the WAM program was the same as mentoring outside the WAM program, and it was excellent.